Yo, PSA just doubled their prices across the board. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Nate. Smash that like, hit the sub, hit the notification bell, and let's get started. So last night, I had that sixth sense, that gut feeling, Nate, you got to do a bulk submission before they increase their prices. You can go on my IG, you can see the screenshot of my submission talking about they're about to increase the prices because of the Logan Paul effect. Why shouldn't they? Anything Logan Paul is going to, have a Tasami hype wave, So anyways, doesn't surprise me. Beckett increased their prices when Shiny Fates and Optic Football got released. Perfect timing, right? So PSA decided, well, we're going to increase our prices right after Logan Paul does his box break. Makes perfect sense. So last night, I submitted my last submission for $10 a card, and I'm thinking myself I did. But that bulk submission is going to cost me $500. But if I did submit it today, it would be $1,000. But because I did not want to burn the midnight oil and get some sleep, I still have another bulk of submission of first edition. Foreign, Spanish, German, Chinese first edition cards to send in. And now that's going to cost me $1,000 now, because PSA just jacked up the prices. So I should have burned the midnight oil. I should have, just blitzed it through and but I should have just grinded it through, But anyways, done and over with. So the prices. So it's $20 a card for every card you send in the bulk. For regular, it used to be $50. Now it's $100. Benjamin Express is $150. It used to be $35. Super Express is $300 now. Now with PSA, do remember, if you send in a card in, say like first edition Charizard, and like I did, I sent it with $75 a card, and if the card has a lot of value and suppresses that value what you paid for, they'll charge you the next tier for grading. So it went from first edition Blastoise and first edition Charizard being graded $75 to $200 per card. So they charged me around $400. Now here's the thing with Beckett. So people are not talking about Beckett either. So why should I send my cards to PSA bulk if the centering's decent? If you send your cards to Beckett, because it's the same price, no subgrades. PSA doesn't do any subgrades. So if you get a gold pristine or a black label, they'll give you the subgrades for free. So let's do an example here. If I sent my cards to, if I sent my Charizard V promo from Champions Path over to PSA, and PSA's the best thing they can offer is a PSA 10. The card goes around like 100 to 200, for PSA 10. Now with Beckett, they'll charge me the same price, maybe faster turnaround than PSA, because everyone just sends a PSA. Why should I take my chances? Because with PSA, when I should take my chances with Beckett and potentially get a black label, and I can sell that same Charizard promo V for around $1,000, $1,200. So I'm just trying to if you're a big fan of PSA, awesome. If you're a big fan of Beckett, awesome. If you're a big fan of CGC, but I'm trying to weigh the pros and cons is what grading service can give you the biggest bang of the buck here, which can fatten up your wallet, full of Benjamins here. So you have to ask yourself, what is worth your time grading now? And trying to do more of a cost-effective analyst, Now, PSA and Beckett is giving the message to the trading card community. We're overloaded with cards. We don't want your junk cards. Send us cards worth grading and worth value, because we don't want to grade junk cards. So that's pretty much the message what the grading services are giving you. Now I'm kind of more appetizing to go look to CGC now, because honestly, some cards I know that are slightly off centered and I know I'm going to flip anyway, so I might as well just send it to CGC, even though I probably won't get as much money as a PSA, but I'll have a faster turnaround with CGC and just flip it. Or use CGC as a glorified crossover like I did with my Perfect 10 to cross over to like Beckett for a potential black label. Even though that's not 100% guaranteed. But now CGC is looking more appetizing because, well, they're a little bit cheaper but faster. And if my sole objective is to flip the cards and just get rid of them, well, I'm just going to send a CGC. But as for bulk, it just seems like it's more worth my time. If the centering's good on it, I'm just going to send it to Beckett and potentially get a black label. Vintage is a different story. I send back mostly vintage to PSA because it's like near impossible to get a black label with vintage just because the card's been in a booster for 20 years. The edges are pretty rough. You know, it kind of devalues the cards over time. You have temperature, dealing with the cards over time. It has that wear and tear effect. With modern cards, they were just printed and you ripped them from the pack, boom, send them to Beckett so you can get that black label. So like for example, a Japanese Shiny Charizard VMAX PSA 10, when it was released, it sold at most $1,500. A black label, on the other hand, Shiny Charizard VMAX, I'm talking about the Japanese, sold between $10,000 to $12,000 right after it was released. So I'm going to do another video of pros and cons of each grading service, including CGC. But I'm going to start sending more cards to CGC now because I kind of owe it to them because, well, they technically got me a black label for pretty much like 1/3 of the cost. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a shout out, an update that PSA just increased their prices. So now you have to look at your cards now and be like, is this card really worth grading? And like if you buy a card raw, I always use the 40 for 50% profit margin. And what I mean by that, so I bought this card for $100. This first edition Ivysaur, $100. So if I get a PSA 8, PSA 9, it might sell between around $300 to $400. PSA 10 is a different story, but always try to think of like kind of like the realistic grade you're going to get, So that's what I wanted to just tell you. Now it's all about what cards are worth grading, and don't just send whatever cards now because now they just doubled their prices. So hopefully you guys find something. Happy hunting, happy catching, and good luck to your pulls, good luck to your green, and all right, peace, later.